Hi, my name is Mike, and welcome to another Procure Eminence tutorial. I've been getting a lot of questions lately regarding how to exit a promise chain early. So today we're going to learn how to easily break out of a JavaScript promise chain with a custom error message. Typically, when you want to exit a piece of code early, you would use a simple keyword, such as break to exit out of a for loop, or return to exit a function at any given point. Exiting a promise is slightly more complex than that, but when we break it down, it'll be easy to understand. First things first, let's take a look at the basic promise chain and review how it's currently being used. In this example, we're initiating a promise chain with a fetch call, and we pass in a string that specifies the URL of the resource that we want to access. Just in case you're unfamiliar with the Fetch API, I'll put some useful links in the video description. Moving on, in the next step of the promise chain, we create a basic anonymous function that takes the response from the fetch call and converts it to the JSON format. After that, we create another anonymous function that takes the JSON data, passes it to the print GameList function, and prints each game title to the console. Lastly, we set up a catch method to handle errors that may be thrown during the chain, and we print them to the console as well. Now, let's say we want to break out of the promise chain immediately after the fetch call. Why would we do this? It simply comes down to the fact that the fetch promise will only be rejected if a network failure is detected. That becomes a problem when the file can't be found, aka a 404 error, and the expected JSON data isn't available to parse. Let's change the URL to an invalid path, reload the page, and see what happens. Here we can see that the syntax error is reported, which is technically correct, but it isn't the root cause of the problem. To improve the error reporting on this particular issue, we need to create an if statement to check for a 404 status code and exit the promise chain early if it's detected. So let's create the if statement, get the status code by typing response.status, and check if it's equal to 404. Now it's time to add the line of code that actually breaks the chain. In this example, we have two ways of accomplishing that. First, we can type throw, followed by a custom string that will describe the reason for exiting the chain. How about file not found? After saving and refreshing the page, the new custom message is displayed. The second way of writing this line of code is to create an error object and pass a custom string into its constructor. To do this, we type in new, error, and pass in the string file not found. Now, when we refresh the page, our error message is prepended with the word error, followed by a colon. We can also see additional information below that. This tells us that the error object was created in our JS file on line 18. If we don't want the extra information, we can update the console.log statement to print only the desired error object properties. I like the way the first line looked in our console, so let's replicate that by creating a template literal and add in the name and message properties. Just to confirm that it works, let's save and refresh. And there you go. Now you know how to easily exit a promise chain, how to create your own custom error messages, as well as how to create a custom error object. Don't forget to hit that like button, and definitely subscribe to get all the latest videos. Links to the source code and reference materials can be found in the video description below. Thanks for watching.